Yes, I've been sketching in my little blue book of faces. That's what I'm going to call this little art journal that I'm working on. I'm sketching faces in here. I've been showing them at the beginning of my videos. And yes, I am working from the back to the front. Why? It's the way I opened it when I first started. I first started with this one, and it had a blank page. This little journal has line pages and blank pages, and I wanted to start out with a blank page, and I opened it to the back, so I'm working from the back to the front. I'll show you. I did several that I have not shown you because I've been out urban sketching. So I'm just going to show them to you. There have been several questions about where I get the sketches. No, I do not make them up in my head. I sketch from reference photos that I get from Paint My Photo, the Morgue File, the Library of Congress, the New York Public Library, Wiki Commons. There's just a lot of places where you can get reference photos to sketch from. And I will say again, this is not for commercial purposes. This is for my practice, for my art journal. So I sketched this fellow. Very happy with how he turned out. And this lady. I sketched this young boy. Still working on the open mouths. A child's face is just a little bit rounder, although I would say this boy is probably 9 or 10 years old. I sketched this young lady. And this gentleman. Now these are the ones that I did today. And these are some that I did yesterday. I sketched this lady. Pretty happy with this one. Again, working with the open mouth and the teeth and the nose. The tilt of the head and the angle of the eyes as the head is tilting. Now, I will say that I sketched this same lady here first. I was not happy with it. I could not get it. So I quit. I said I'm not going to frustrate myself anymore. I just stopped. And I went and sketched over here, and I started with the mouth this time because this was what I wanted to work on specifically. And then I went from the mouth to the nose and said I might as well draw the eyes, and took it from there. Much happier with this one than this one. But this is what it is. It is what it is. When you're not happy with something, if you're not getting into the zone, flip to the next page and start again. And once you get on track, well, you're on track. Not everything's going to be good, and not everything's going to be poor. I sketched this young lady. Now, this is from a Civil War photograph. So there's not enough, on those old vintage photographs, there's not a lot of value showing through, especially when you're looking at them online. But I was happy with how it turned out. I also sketched this young lady, which was also from a Civil War photograph. Very happy with it. I sketched this young boy, who is obviously not Civil War. I think I got this one off a Paint My Photo site. This gentleman. And this gentleman. This gentleman. And No, this is not Donald Trump. Although when I was doing his hair, I thought, oh no, they're going to think I'm sketching Donald Trump. This lady and this lady. So I think that's where I ended up. These two I've already shown to you. I just have a lot of fun sketching these, and it keeps me in practice. Just sketching a little face or two every day. I try to do several a day to make up for the days that I don't get any of them sketched. I'm using a Sharpie fine point pen. And Karen, if you're watching, Karen had a question on why was the pen not bleeding through. And we were thinking that this book, she had asked if I primed the paper, and no, I'm just using the paper as is. It's just a note paper. This is just a little notepad. But I was looking at the package of this Sharpie pen stylo, fine, black. And look here, it says, no bleed. So, smear-resistant, water-resistant, acid-free ink formula. So these pens, these fine point Sharpie pens, it's a proven fact on my sketches, do not bleed through the paper. Now, I think the other Sharpies probably would. These Sharpies, I think, probably would bleed through. And they call this a fine point too, but it surely is not a fine point in the same sense as these are. So I really like sketching with these for this type of drawing sketch.